Hey, so this is going to be a video about how to clean up the data files for the Star One videos. So once you have your Excel file saved that has all the data in it, when you first open the file, it'll look like this. It has all this kind of overwhelming looking data. And our job is to find the important data that's within this Excel sheet. It's just a little bit difficult to locate when it's this busy. So, what's nice about this part of the work is that if you save all these Excel crazy files to your flash drive, you don't need to be using the study computer or Dr. Wallace's lab computers to do it. You can do it on your own personal laptop. I do recommend having the participants packet with you when you do it so that you know what stories they did. It just helps you to double check that you have all of the correct data, but it's not necessary if you trust that once you do this enough times and you trust that your data set cleaning skills are up to are good enough that you know you found all the right data, then maybe you wouldn't need to look at the participant packet, but it definitely helps me at the moment. I'm not very quick or skilled at this aspect yet.
Oh, you're talking about
Sorry.
I was going to come ask you a question.
No, it's okay. I'll come find you in a minute. Sorry. So once you open this file, you're also going to want to have another Excel file that's blank, because this is where you're going to be putting the data from this one into a nice clean file so that all we have to look at is that. Doesn't necessarily matter how you format it. This is one that I did. I have open on a different computer just so I can reference it for this video. You're looking for two things. So the accuracy, so a 1 is they got it, a 0 is they answered incorrectly. So this is the accuracy for one story. Then here's, another story. So for each story, you're going to have a set of 1s and 0s that's going to represent their accuracy. So I have them sorted here by condition. So auditory only, there's 4 stories. Both, there's 4 stories. And if we scroll over, we'll see the reading only condition with 4 stories as well. So this message here, it's a little cryptic looking, but S is for story 16, so that's their story number. So here's story 23, story 30, and so on. This heading is very important. It is the heading that you're looking for when you're in the crazy file that has all the details. So the email I forwarded you has this listed, so you always know what you're looking for. I keep this email open just so I don't get confused. It tells you what you're looking for in the crazy file. Story number, so like story 16, story 20, whatever. And then this is the rest of the heading. And this just details the 1s and 0s thing I was talking about. So the accuracy is one of 2 things that we're looking for in the crazy file. So I'm going to start by going over the accuracy because I think that's easier to find, and then I can talk about the second component that we're looking for the data, which is the response time, abbreviated RT. So we'll get to that later. I'm going to start with locating the accuracy data in the big file. So if you're here in the big file, you see all this crazy business. I start by just scrolling over pretty far. I know it's time to stop so keep going. I know it seems like you're going for a long time. This is when I stop. When it starts to say button a lot in a sort of random looking pattern, instead of being these full columns of information, when you see button, 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 more button, there's a lot of this. I don't know what it means, but we don't have to know what it means, so it's okay. You'll start to see this, it'll look really blank, which is kind of, the first time I looked at this, I was like, oh no, I lost all the data, but it's okay, this is what it's supposed to look like. Now, I think the easiest way to do it is to look for this heading in across here. So we're looking for the story number q.slidechoice1.acc, which is for accuracy. So I just scroll over until I find it. Oh, there it is. So now I know that in this column that I have highlighted, because it's the right abbreviation, if I just scroll down far enough, I'm eventually going to find the data. Sometimes it feels weird because you're looking through a blank Excel sheet and you're like, where's the data? But there it is. So you just have to keep going until you find it. So then this column here is going to be the accuracy. These zeros and ones is the accuracy data for story 11. So I just copy paste this column of ones and zeros into my blank Excel file, and I label it story 11. So once I have that data over, I'm just going to pop up back to the top and then tab over until I see that accuracy thing again for the next story. So one thing to note is that this looks like it's going to be right because it says story 12 question accuracy, but it's not, because remember what we're looking for has the slide choice 1 in the middle as well. So I'm going to keep going by tabbing over. Oh, there it is. Okay. So again, just tab down until you find the data, which takes a while sometimes. Sometimes it's right at the top, sometimes it's not, but here it is. So for this one, the participant got one question correct, and then the rest of the questions incorrect. So again, I would just copy paste this column of ones and zeros over into my clean file, label it as, what story number was this? I would label it as story 12. And then I just, like I mentioned before, I grouped them by condition, just because it's easier to compare to your handwritten paper copy when they're grouped this way, so that we can use this file to double check our online data collection. Yeah, so throughout the file, you'll just continue to scroll over until you've taken the data down for all of the stories. So since there's 4 for each of 3 conditions, you'll do this a total of 12 times. And you're just going through, always looking for this story, whatever the number is, slide choice 1, accuracy. So that's how you do part 1 of the data file cleaning.